I'm always there, as said earlier, of giving my perspective on what I see and how I've gone about things. And ultimately, it takes a great deal of patience and hard work and a sense of resilience. You got to want it. You got to want it. And so,
you know, if it's a right guard, you can play through that. When it's a quarterback, you kind of need that muscle to throw. So unfortunately, I'm going to put him down for a little bit here. We'll treat it day to day and see how he responds. But
I always say it this way: prove to me you can't do it. Prove to me you can't do it. And so far, he has not done that.
Kevin Stefanski did is actually par for the course. I know a lot of fans don't want to hear it. I know a lot of fans don't know about it, but I'm going to take y'all inside this locker room. So
when the gossip heats up and the critics start making noise, that's when true leaders show their character, and Jalen Hurts just proved it. In the middle of all the injury rumors surrounding Sheudeur Sanders, the Eagles' star QB didn't jump in to speculate or add fuel to the fire. Instead, he stepped in with pure respect. Hurts made it clear he believes in Sheudeur's grind, he supports his journey, and he's rooting for the young quarterback's moment to shine. No drama, no injury talk, just genuine recognition of a player chasing his dream. This isn't just about football. It's about respect, mentorship, and having another athlete's back when it counts.
You got to want it. And so I'm supporting him from where I am and wishing him nothing but the best with his opportunities.
Jalen Hurts didn't just stop at offering support. He made it clear that Sheudeur has put in the work and truly earned this shot. He praised the young QB's dedication, reminding everyone that moments like these aren't handed out, they're fought for. But then came the intriguing part. Without directly saying it, Hurts hinted that the Browns might not be all that eager to let Sheudeur take the field next game. The reason? His recent performance has sent his hype skyrocketing, and there could be people in the organization looking to quietly slow that momentum. It wasn't an outright accusation, but Hurts's delivery told its own story. The pauses, the slight smirks, the look in his eyes, it all suggested there's been more than a few private conversations between the two quarterbacks. And whatever was shared behind closed doors, one thing was obvious. Hurts is firmly in Sheudeur's corner, even if the road ahead is about to get tricky. And then there's the mystery of their post-practice time together. This wasn't just a quick dap and part ways. They stayed, talking for a long while, well away from the cameras. You can only guess what they covered: strategy, career decisions, personal motivation, or the buzzing media chatter. And yes, you can bet that controversial stance from the Browns was right there on the table. They were in that cart for a while, and it looked like nothing was off limits. The talk about Sheudeur possibly being sidelined isn't just rumor anymore. It's starting to look like a near certainty. Just days after the game, Kevin Stefanski faced the media and made it clear he wasn't locking in Sheudeur Sanders as the Browns' starter. Instead, he gave the standard line about focusing on the development of all quarterbacks on the roster. On the surface, it sounds fair enough. But then came the depth chart, and that's when eyebrows shot up. Despite delivering what many considered the best quarterback performance of the entire preseason, Sanders was still sitting at fourth on the list. Even stranger, both Dillon and Pickett were nursing injuries, yet somehow, Sanders remained behind them. That one detail has only poured more fuel on the fire, feeding the belief that there's more at play here than simple competition. Whatever's happening behind closed doors in Cleveland, it's starting to feel less like coincidence and more like a deliberate decision. Just when it seemed like the situation couldn't get any more unclear, another report hit, claiming Kevin Stefanski has no intention of playing Sheudeur Sanders in the second preseason game. That revelation didn't just stir the pot, it sent the whole conversation boiling over. Considering everything Sanders put on display in his last outing, this move feels far less like coincidence and far more like a deliberate message. It's almost as if the Browns are broadcasting, in no uncertain terms, that Sheudeur isn't in their immediate plans, at least not in the way fans and analysts were hoping. Whether this is some calculated bit of strategy or a deeper, more political play, the takeaway is the same. The cloud of uncertainty over Sheudur's role in Cleveland is only getting darker. And the questions? They're multiplying fast, and they're not fading away anytime soon. And now, seemingly out of nowhere, Sheudeur is suddenly injured. The timing couldn't be more eyebrow-raising. Just as the pressure to get him on the field was hitting its peak, the Browns appear to be pumping the brakes. The official word? Arm soreness, something they claim will be completely fine by tomorrow. But that's exactly what has people questioning the story. Is this really just a minor setback? Or is it a perfectly convenient excuse to bench Sanders while the hype cools off? The timing feels almost too precise, and for many, it's starting to look less like a stroke of bad luck and more like a carefully planned move orchestrated behind the scenes. In the court of public opinion, this isn't just an injury, it's a signal, and it's only adding fuel to the fire surrounding Sheudur's future in Cleveland.
Like my coach just said in college, find something that he can do. See, you keep telling me what Sheudeur can't do. Well, your job as a coach is to put players in position and find something that they can do.
And if that wasn't already enough to spark suspicion, this so-called arm soreness comes at the exact moment when every snap Sheudeur takes could change the entire conversation in Cleveland. Fans were eager to see him build on that breakout performance. Analysts were already breaking down his long-term potential, and even fellow players, like Jalen, were publicly showing their support. But instead of leaning into that wave of momentum, the Browns appear to be slamming the brakes. Whether the motive is controlling the narrative, protecting certain roster choices, or steering clear of a looming quarterback controversy, the optics are doing them no favors. If this truly is nothing more than a minor injury, Sanders should be back in no time. But if it isn't, then we may be witnessing one of the most baffling quarterback situations in recent memory slowly and quietly play out right in front of us.
Shefty, it's what does it look like? And he looked like a guy that should be getting opportunity to say, nope, you're actually not good enough. If I were the Browns, he would be getting reps with the starters this week. I felt like going into the game, if he played a certain way, that would be the case. He should getting reps with the starters this week. And
even Stefanski has now acknowledged that Sanders' recovery might take a little longer than usual, emphasizing the need for caution since it involves an important muscle group. But it wasn't just what he said, it was how he said it. Every word felt deliberate, each pause calculated, as if he were carefully sidestepping something. The hesitance in his tone only deepened the sense that there's more beneath the surface. His unwillingness to lay everything out plainly is making it harder and harder to believe this is just a straightforward injury story. Instead, it's starting to feel like there's a bigger game being played behind the scenes, one that Stefanski isn't ready to talk about.
If it's a right guard, you can play through that. When it's a quarterback, you kind of need that muscle to throw. So unfortunately, going to put him down for a little bit here. We'll treat it day to day and see how he responds. But want to be smart because he's a thrower, so you can't push it.
Just days ago, Dan Orlovsky didn't hold back. He went straight at Kevin Stefanski, calling him out for keeping Sheudeur Sanders on the sidelines and limiting his reps. Orlovsky was blunt, demanding to know why Sanders wasn't being given the chance to prove himself. His stance was clear. If Stefanski truly believes Sanders hasn't earned those snaps, then he owes fans and analysts a solid explanation, backed by real evidence, showing that Sanders can't get the job done. The problem for Stefanski is that the film says otherwise. Sanders' preseason performance has already put his skills on display: poise under pressure, pinpoint accuracy, and the ability to command an offense. For Orlovsky, there's nothing left to wait and see about. Sanders has shown he's ready for the moment, and it's well past time the Browns give him the opportunity he's earned.
I always say it this way: prove to me you can't do it. Prove to me you can't do it. And so far, he has not done that.
The situation surrounding Sheudeur Sanders has evolved from mild curiosity to one of the most talked-about controversies in the NFL preseason. From Jalen publicly showing support, to Kevin Stefanski's cautious and carefully worded updates, to Dan Orlovsky's direct criticism, it's clear this isn't just about football. It's about trust, opportunity, and transparency. Sanders' preseason showing proved he has the talent, composure, and leadership to compete at a high level. Yet the Browns' actions have repeatedly suggested hesitation, if not outright resistance, to putting him in the spotlight. The sudden arm soreness, the questionable depth chart positioning, and now hints that his recovery could take longer than usual, all paint a picture that feels less like coincidence and more like calculated control of the narrative. Whether the motive is strategic planning, internal politics, or protecting other roster investments, one fact remains. Fans, analysts, and even players around the league are watching closely. If this is truly about an injury, Sanders will get his chance soon enough. But if it's not, the Browns risk creating a far bigger storm, one where the conversation shifts from football decisions to organizational integrity. Either way, the spotlight on Sheudeur isn't going anywhere. What do you think is really going on with Sheudeur Sanders in Cleveland? Is this arm soreness genuinely keeping him off the field, or is it just a convenient excuse to slow down his momentum? Do you believe Kevin Stefanski is making a smart strategic move, or is this more about politics and protecting certain roster decisions? And if Sanders has already proven himself in preseason, why not give him the reps he's earned? Share your thoughts, because this could be one of the most intriguing quarterback storylines we've seen in years.